This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. The Middle Ground Mike is fighting for truth and unity. Subscribe now or support us today. Links are in the notes. Stand with us. Welcome to the Middle Ground Mike. No left, no right, just forward. I'm Joe. If the war headlines have you frustrated and exhausted, today's episode is for you. We're breaking down the massive 2025 news. After Trump and Zelensky's Mar-a-Lago meeting, Zelensky reveals the U.S. is offering Ukraine a 15-year securities guarantee as part of a 20-point peace plan. Progress at 90 to 95%. Working groups on security and economy. But thorny issues like the Donbass region. Now Russia's claiming a 91 drone attack on Putin's residence overnight. Is this real peace or another endless United States commitment? The overlooked fact is that it could end responsibly. Stick around for the facts, reactions, and hopefully a sane path forward. Before we deep dive, let's zoom out. This could be a moment we've waited for years after the stalemate. But aren't you sick of the politicians from both sides dragging us into endless foreign entanglements while ignoring your wallet at home? How many more billions before we fix our own schools, roads, bridges? It's exhausting, and honestly, it's starting to feel like a betrayal of the things that we really want that they know we want. And I don't think that's where it's really at, but it feels that way sometimes. Hey, if this no-take spin resonates with you and you want to help us with taking this show further, live events, whatever, go to buymeacoffee.com/TMGM. Stuff will be in the links. Insiders get early access, daily posts, but the daily posts are free for anybody. You join as a monthly member, or you can donate one time as little as $1. It's much appreciated. The latest on this, right? With the guarantees, but Russia is rejecting key parts, demands for full withdrawals, territorial concessions, and then the bombshell. The Kremlin is obviously, like I said earlier, claiming a 91 long-range drone attack from Ukraine and Putin's Novgorod residence overnight. Zelensky calls it typical Russian lies to sabotage talks. Trump told Putin he's very angry. But what really happened? But this hits home. It's your tax dollars, global security, and it's a potential off-ramp for the peace plan. But let's zoom out for context. The war started February 2022 with the full invasion. Past attempts like the Minsk in 2014, 2015, the Istanbul collapsed over territory, security, and trust. Now in late 2025, after hundreds of thousands lost and billions spent, this 20-point draft is the most serious push yet. It includes a non-aggression pact, space-based monitoring for violations, to keep Ukraine right on, I believe, 800 peacetime troops. An European Union ascension path, and robust guarantees from the United States. But unresolved is still the Donbass region, right? That's been a big thing. Same with Crimea and the Zaporizhia plant. Is that going to be a joint thing between the United States and Ukraine? Who knows? But as an independent/middle, aren't you fed up with how both parties keep us locked in these cycles of wasting trillions overseas? Ukraine does need the help, but we have to figure out where's the finish line for us. We want to do the right thing by Ukraine, but where's the finish line for America? Because it doesn't seem like there is one. But a lot of the stuff that, Russia's talking about, 91 long-range, the Russian claim, 91 long-range drones, I'm reading it here, targeting Putin's Novgorod residence. The defense ministry downed 89 of them nationwide, 18 over Novgorod. Obviously Ukraine, Russian lies. It's a pretext for more Kiev strikes, hardening their position. Trump said he's very angry, but notes it may not have happened. Fog of war classics, derails or forces concessions. It's a fragile moment. But as independents, doesn't it boil your blood that we're stuck in these he said, she said games? Our taxes, these people's lives, funding drama while politicians pat themselves on the back sometimes? It's enough to make you want to scream at the system. But X is exploding about some of this. The Trump, the U.S.-Ukraine part, seal the deal, Olga Bazova, huge wave of speculative articles, critics, Alvagarnia, Trump's latest flop, pro-Putin stance enables terror. Bopanic, war, the war is unwinnable, maximalist terms. This Again, it echoes independent exhaustion, hope, doubt, tired of the extremes, tired of the outrage, overlooked guarantees. Monitoring and aid, not endless troops, plus economic rebuilding is beneficial to all parties. But here's a fair spin, right, Hawks? 15 years is not enough. It needs to be ironclad. But isolationists are trying to say it's enough, lock us in. But both are missing the data. Since 2022, $130 billion in direct aid, $400 to $500 per taxpayer, military hardware, training, humanitarian, and more than NASA annual budget. Less than debt interest this year. Is it investment or is it stopping aggression? Or is it unsustainable amid borders, infrastructure issues? No war end equals no spending end. We want to do the right thing, but we can't let it take us too far. But isn't it infuriating both parties treat sometimes this like it's a fight over potholes in schools? They're falling apart in some areas. We're not getting enough what we need. It's time to demand better. Embrace the security in the economy groups, right? Russia back, Ukraine monitor borders, compromise on both, except amid the drone buzz and responsible progress. But here's the best case that we can think of. We got a deal, lease some monitor borders, cheap Russian energy rebuild, the Donbass economic area. But the worst case, Crimea and Donbass breakdown, escalation, and more aid. What would you guarantee for peace? Vote. As an independent, though, this matters. Inflation, taxes, stability. Ties to exhausted moderates, sick of spin, ready forward. But honestly, doesn't it make you rage politicians prioritize sometimes foreign drama over our future? It gets pushed to the back end some days. And I'm not knocking or denigrating anybody in Ukraine because I'm okay with helping them, but we got to have like a plan, a finish line, not just this endless back and forth. But that's the middle ground on Ukraine's moment. Did it hit home? Subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify. Hey, could you rate us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify? Give us some good ratings on YouTube, wherever. Again, if you can support us on buymeacoffee.com/TNGM, there's 3 articles on there. Help keep us strong. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. No left, no right, just forward.